You hear what I said? Do you hear what I said? Hey, pal, your excuses are your own.
A champion from the West. A legend of the East. A competition that went too far.
There has been too much violence, too much pain.
Now, to survive, you must destroy. For honor.
Let us gingerly touch our tips.
For love.
It will be nice. I think you will love it.
For justice.
The law's on my side.
The power of a warrior.
JD.
The heart of a champion.
Thunder.
He likes the way I talk, and I like the way he talks.
This is Stack of Dimes. Stack of Dimes. Stack of Dimes. Stack of Dimes.
Stack of Dimes. We are the podcast that is switched to completely ChatGPT generated content. This is not a human talking. This is a robot. And we've just taken all of our shows and dumped them into some sort of AI ML vector database nonsense. And it just spits out show after show that sound exactly the same, which is kind of what you've been getting anyways.
Yeah, I was just going to say, all of that just sounds like a regular...
10 years,
yeah.
10, 11 years? Who could tell anymore since the Russians took half of our data? But yeah, that's what this show is. So you're just going to hear the same goddamn shit you've heard every week. You're welcome.
Well, I'm telling you that there's plenty of people listening going, plenty of people.
They're like, sweet.
Yeah. They're like, oh, are you going to give me consistent content every week? It's just AI generated? Yeah, that's fine.
I wonder if we could. We should probably just do that, generate it. And like, you've told this story already, and they'll just be like, actually, ChatGPT probably come up with better versions of the story.
Totally.
Like, I didn't hear that one.
I mean, we can ingest all of the hours of our programming into whatever algorithm, and it would just spit the shit out, and it would probably be better than the trash that we've been serving up for the last 5 years at least. I mean, come on.
The robots are going to replace us, and we're just going to I guess live in the tunnels under Las Vegas. That's what we'll have. No jobs. We'll just live in those tunnels.
I'm going to go like, you're going to call me and be like, hey dude, we haven't talked in like 3 years. And I was like, no, I've been talking with your bot. He's totally cool. I don't need you anymore. I dial him up every now and then.
You may have been, because we've done this like over pandemic. We've only done this live like in person once.
Yeah, right.
And it wasn't a good
That's
show.
true.
So there was definitely something off about it.
It's true, man. Maybe you are the bot.
I've been a bot this whole time.
Oh my God.
I probably sound like a bot now because I'm on the phone, because your goddamn technology over there wouldn't work. But that's cool. You got to change your password or something. Do two-factor authentication.
Hey, fuck you.
I don't know.
If it wasn't for me, this show wouldn't even be happening anymore.
That's for sure.
Fuck you.
That's for sure.
Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, here we are again. Stack of Dimes, the podcast. Yes. What was it? Before we went on, you were telling me there's a John Woo movie. What are you talking about? 4 days ago,
hold up. In 1992 or 3, when I think at some point I'm going to take credit for this one. I rented The Killer from Encore Video.
Oh, I'll give you total credit for that. You get all the credit for that.
I read something about this movie. I heard it's something to behold. And you're like, okay, whatever. And I know we had both seen the cover of that movie over and over again. Absolutely. It was like always on the bottom row, two guys pointing guns at each other.
What is this? The cover. The picture on the cover looks awful. It's like some Lorimar Entertainment. Like, what is this? I don't. It looks foreign.
And then we watched it, and we were like, holy shit! This is where's this been all our lives? And then we just went on like I would say like a completionist sort of like a bender of like everything John Woo had ever done. As much as we could. We went down to Scarecrow Video and like found Laserdiscs. We went to
Japanese Laserdiscs.
Whatever, some sort of like, what was that place in Everett? Some sort of Family Time Video, and found all that John Woo stuff.
Video Express.
Went Video Express. We went to the Varsity Theater in the U District and saw Hard Boiled and A Bullet in the Head and like a twofer in one day.
That's brutal.
Yeah, it was
I couldn't do that now. That's brutal.
I think we
sitting through two movies in a movie theater.
We both literally took like a day off of work to do that. I remember like the first showing was like at noon, and we were like, well, I guess I'll just work like a half day and then go. It was because it was in the summer, and I was like probably working landscaping. I was like, yeah, I can't work next Tuesday. It was like in the middle of a week too.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We had the time to do that with so many women we were dating. They were like, we were just like, let's go watch 2 John Woo movies
and
back to back.
Well, we were content creators back then too. We were making a lot of content, and we had time to do that. No, we went down there and I think we did that. We went to Tower Records and flipped through Laserdisc, and we went and saw Bullet in the Head. And Hard Boiled, we were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's like the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And then then Hard Target came to America.
This is what Face
Off.
Are you sure wait a minute. Hold on. Are you sure we didn't find out about John Woo because of Hard Target?
No, I am pretty sure Watch the Killer first. Here's my memory of how it went. The trailers for Hard Target were coming out, and it was like, it was like from John Woo. And I remember people in theaters would laugh.
Yeah,
like,
that's right. Okay,
name?
yep.
Like that's how xenophobic America was at the time. If you put in the name like John Woo in a thing, people would just laugh at it. Like from the visionary director, John Woo, and people would just like start snickering.
I do remember that,
I didn't know anything. I don't remember anything about the guy, but I think I found the killer in between, and then Hard Target came out, and then we were like primed.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
I don't know if we had,
but I think that's how it went, because I know that I remember reading an article in one of those magazines. I don't know if it was an action magazine or a Black Belt or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but it was about Van Damme's movie that's coming up, and he was talking about this director, John Woo. It may have been in one of the Karate International books that you had too. Because I remember reading about this guy and not knowing anything about him, but learning through Van Damme articles, basically.
I want to say, I'm not trying to I learned about him, but I used, it was probably one or two magazines. It was probably either Entertainment Weekly, which I had a weekly subscription to, or Film Comment, which I used to go to the library and find and go read those. And I want to say it was one of those that turned me on to. I was like, I got to rent this movie, The Killer, because something very similar happened with Reservoir Dogs. Because I remember this Reservoir Dogs, this is I read, I don't know, something about being violent or something. And I remember renting that. And I remember dude, you got to watch this movie. Anywho. Yeah, then we saw Hard Target, and then we followed everything. I think what was it after Hard Target? It was probably Face Off, and then Broken Arrow, and all that. And then
Broken Arrow was before Face Off, I believe. But yeah,
I want to say it was after, because he had done Face Off with Travolta, and then he did Broken Arrow with Travolta. I think they teamed up again. Yeah, maybe I don't know. I might be. Who knows? You may be right.
Yeah,
all I know is I never saw Paycheck. Because by the time I got to Paycheck with Ben Affleck, I just was like, yeah, I think I'm done. I'm done on this trip. Sorry, John Woo. I literally have never seen it. Yeah, Ben Affleck and Uma Thurman.
I've never seen it either.
I've seen a couple of the things, and after that, he went back to Hong Kong and started making stuff, which I've watched a couple of those.
Are those more?
Not all of them.
Are those more like the? More kind of the what do you call it? Not opera stuff, but the historical.
A little bit, yeah,
right?
A little bit more
fantastical.
And yep, exactly.
Yeah.
One of them, I'm forgetting even the names. I think he's made a mix of stuff, but I know the one that's probably most famous is more like a Ran or a Crouching Tiger or something like that, right? It's more historical.
Yeah, that's what I
like.
I think Crouching Tiger ushered in that sort of.
So I know I watched one of those somewhere in there in the mid 2000s, and then this week I was doing something. And there's posters up around downtown of this movie Silent Night with what's this guy's name?
Oh yeah, that's not John Woo.
Kinnaman, Joel Kinnaman.
The dude
He's
from
been in, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, Suicide Squad, dude. Yeah,
that's directed by John Woo.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's his United States return, his first movie back in the United States since 2003.
We got it. Let's go see this.
That's what I'm saying, my friend.
Let's go see this.
How are you and I not our radar wasn't tuned into this, and it's just so crazy though. I know it's been 20 years, but there was a point in time if this thing would have been coming out, I've been doing goddamn backflips.
Yeah, there's no way.
I do backflips all the way to the theater, just back handsprings.
Yeah, absolutely.
from downtown Seattle.
It'd be
to
like
North
it'd be like the fucking first scene in Highlander where the dude just is doing backflips all the way down the goddamn parked cars. He just goes,
yeah, exactly. Back handsprings the entire time.
I've seen these posters everywhere, and I've seen commercials on TV for this thing. I had zero idea that it was John Woo. None.
Well, and apparently it's like a little bit of like a I don't know, like John Wick-esque movie, but like the concept behind it is like there's no dialogue. It's silent. That's why it's called Silent Night. Do you get it? Because it's silent.
I'm on board now. I'm really on board now. Like we gotta go see this.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I did go down, I don't know if we talked about this in the podcast before, but I think you and I talked about it. I did go down, like Robert Rodriguez has like a movie that was with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, you told me about this, but it was like off air. I think we were talking about it. You said you saw it.
Hypnosis or something like that, or it's very much trying to be like when you look at the cover and you watch the trailer and stuff, it's very much trying to do like an Inception thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this is mind bending.
Was it mind bending?
It only if you get bent by something that's extremely boring and tedious. Then yes, it was mind bending.
Oh boy!
Oh God, I can't find the name of this thing.
I can't believe that because his Mandalorian episodes were really good.
Oh my God, hypnotic. Even when you look at the cover of this thing, it looks like, oh, they're trying to do the way the lighting is and like the shapes and stuff in the background. Like, oh, they're trying to totally do Inception thing. But like, this was definitely like me out of content on the couch at 9 p.m. on a Saturday, and I was like,
it's a scary place
Robert
to be.
Rodriguez. I would have watched everything with Robert. He's another guy. It's like, oh man, new Robert Rodriguez film. Let's go check it out. And I was like, cool, I'll watch this. And poof. It was a grind, dude. It was a grind.
So I will accept the win on Broken Arrow before Face Off. Broken Arrow is 96. Face Off is 97.
No shit.
Oh yeah. Then you got, come on, how are we forgetting this? After Face Off, he went right into a MI2, Mission Impossible 2, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was not a good one. I rewatched that one during the pandemic.
No.
Not good.
Mm-mm.
Not good. I think it has its fans, too, but it's not
it does. Yeah, it does now. Mike at work here has a soft spot for MI2.
God. Yeah.
You've got yourself a Wind Talkers.
Oh yeah, we saw that in theaters. Nick Cage,
and that was 2 years after Mission Impossible 2, and then you got your paycheck in 2003.
You know what I remember about Wind Talkers? I don't think you joined us in the second half. We saw Wind Talkers in Pacific Place in Seattle, downtown Seattle, and. After Wind Talkers were like, I guess it was okay. I've literally not seen it since. And you had to run or do something or maybe work early the next day. And it was Ryan and I and you. And just starting in the theater right next door was like the Bourne Identity, the very first one.
Uh-huh.
And Ryan and I, well, we're going to duck in here and watch this. And you're like, oh, I got to peace out. This is how I remember it. I could be wrong.
Boy.
And Ryan and I go and watch The Bourne Identity, and it was very clear. I was like, oh, that movie we just watched is like the feeling I took away was like Wind Talkers and The Bourne Identity are of like two different eras.
Yeah.
And Wind Talkers is like that era, the John Woo era is done.
Yeah.
And that's like old and it's tired and whatever. And now this like Bourne Identity era where it's like quick cutting, shaky cam, ordinary guy who's got like martial arts skills. I was like, this is like the new, because I remember like Bourne Identity, first time you see her, like, holy shit, this movie is amazing.
Oh,
it's awesome, right? And it was like a phenomenon, but it was like a different style. Like, just like these movies come along every now and then and kind of like reset, like what's cool and hip and like, and now then everything in movies after that was like, like a bunch of like, they walk up to a guy and it's like he does a bunch of quick cut smash shaky cam shit and everybody gets knocked out and you're like, whoa, that was awesome, what happened? That became like the style of movies, right? But Wind Talkers was definitely like, oh, that's still the John Woo early 90s style, and now we're in like and when did Wind Talkers come out? 2002?
Yeah, 2002.
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
you know,
I just remember that was almost funny. That's why when like the next one, Paycheck, came out, I was like, oh no, that the
it's done.
cinemas passed him by. Like they've taken his stuff, they've used it up, and they've moved on to the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Wind Talkers. They actually had a press sort of media sort of blitz that they were going on with that because they were in the radio station that I worked at the time. John Woo and Christian Slater, I believe, who's in Wind Talkers, right? Am I right?
Is he really?
I believe so. They were both. Let me see. Am I wrong here? Nicolas Cage. Yeah, and Christian Slater.
Nick Cage.
Yep, and Christian Slater.
Is Christian Slater in it?
He is.
Shit.
And so Christian Slater and John Woo were at the radio station that I worked at the time. And I was working the overnight shift, and they were going to be in around 8 o'clock the next day, but I usually go home by like 5. So I was debating going and getting a Laserdisc, a John Woo Laserdisc, and coming back in and having him sign it. But I did not.
One of life's great regrets. Like, oh man, I should have done that.
It would be sitting in a box right now at home.
Guys, it really fucked up my life.
Oh boy!
On your deathbed, I should have got that laser disc.
How about that though? The studio was like, okay, guys, John, Christian, we're going to send you all over the country. You're going to be doing live radio hits. Can we just do them on the phone? No. We need you there. This movie is...
That's crazy. Think about that now. Like, that is like such a bygone era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait, why can't we just dial into this radio station from whatever? Well, it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah. I mean, now, I could be wrong. There could have been like a SIF going on or some other weird thing where it's like, oh, this will work nicely because, you know, we're debuting this there, whatever. But I think back on that and I was like, holy shit, like this, how crazy. Well, wow, that blows my mind. I had no idea that movie was a John Woo movie.
You know, I speaking of Laserdisc, I read an article tonight, you know, that since this is like all movie and whatever talk, but like all that James Cameron stuff, like The Abyss and True Lies and Aliens is all coming out on 4K coming up. Have you ever seen that? And he referenced, I saw this like short little interview with James Cameron, and like, why didn't this happen so far? And he's like, well, you know, the extended cut of The Abyss, like when I finished it, it wasn't a movie I wanted to make, and then later I got the funding to like finish it the way I wanted, but it just came out in like his quote was something that was like, it came out on like Laserdisc and like nobody saw it or something like that. And it was a
big deal on Laserdisc too, right? I mean,
it was a big deal, and he had like
it.
a pause in there. He's like, and he said. He's like, I've never even seen it on a cinema. He's never seen it on like a theater screen until like just recently in the 4K cleanup.
Wow.
And he said he took his kids to it, and they're like, "Oh, it's pretty good, Dad." So he said he got dad credit for it. He's like, it holds up.
Was that 20th Century Fox?
Yeah.
So Disney owns that stuff now, and they're putting all that shit out. That must be what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. He claims that in the article, they're like, why didn't this happen till now? He's like, I know people are clamoring for it. He's like, the only time like we were able to like, you know, start together to look at like any of the stuff on 4K, he's like, it takes me a week to go through the movie like frame by frame. He claims like pixel by pixel make sure it's to his like. He's like, I won't delegate it. It's got to be to like his whatever his I don't know, whatever his standards. And so he's like, I've been so busy on the Avatar stuff. I couldn't take time off to like go through 3 movies from like end to end and spend like weeks in this like room, basically like doing all the color correction and all that stuff. So
he's like, all the stuff that you guys really want to see, I don't have the time for. I'm making stuff that you don't want to see. It's taking most of my time up.
Like, those movies are old. They're going to be around. They've been around, and they're going to be around forever. So there was like, to him, there was no rush, which I sort of get that too.
I get that too. And there's a lot of people that don't like to like, hey, I did that. I've been there. I've done that. And they kind of just move on from things too. Especially like it happens a lot in like music, like bands that don't do anything with their back catalog and they get kind of shit on quite a bit.
Oh, right.
Yeah, where they're just like, yeah, we did it. What's out there? We don't really want to revisit it. That kind of happens. I did see something, and I don't know if this is true because fuck, who knows what's true anymore? But
who knows? The ChatGPT did something.
Yeah, but I saw this like little video that was claiming the movie Cocoon you can't get. It's very difficult to get or even stream. And so the topic of the video was basically like, hey, you know how a lot of us don't buy physical content anymore. Just know that, a lot of this stuff isn't available digitally, and maybe the nicest version you can get is, DVD or whatever. But I guess Cocoon, which was a massive movie when it came out, made tons of money.
Massive hit. Still a punchline you can do that people laugh at.
Yeah. Now,
Cocoon.
I mean, is it a good movie?
There was that whole Twitter account that was like, happy birthday, whatever, Leo DiCaprio. You're now the same age as Wilford Brimley was in the movie Cocoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know how accurate. I mean, I didn't go and look around to see if I could find it, but I guess it's out of print on like Blu-ray for whatever. If it did come out, I don't remember if they said it did come out on Blu-ray, but either way, it's out of print on whatever physical formats. But I guess you can find Cocoon 2, the sequel, is like everywhere on streaming, but you can't find Cocoon 1. That's what this person claims. And
that's a crime.
I mean, look, I don't even know if I ever watched the movie. I remember seeing bits and pieces of it. I remember it being butts of jokes, but I do remember it being like a very big movie when it came out. I think it came out like 86 or something. And
I think I probably saw it like in theaters. I'm assuming. Like,
yeah, it was a very successful
movie.
It
was like one of the, like my parents, we used to go to movies a lot, and I'm sure like at some point we went and saw.
Oh, for sure.
Like, we're going to go see this movie Cocoon. It's got to be, you can buy it on iTunes right now. Oh, no, Cocoon The Return. I'm fucking wrong. The Return.
No shit.
Yeah. Weird. And then there's like another movie named Cocoon that's like from 2022. That's weird.
Huh.
No, you can't get it on iTunes, which usually iTunes, even like old shit, you can get like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Weird. But that's this whole thing with like, with video games and with streaming services now, like having all this digital stuff, it's like there's a lot of these guys that are like, oh, they can just take it whenever they want it. Like, I guess there's just a ton of video games that are nowhere to be had. Like, unless you have some sort of old console, like, good luck. You're never probably ever going to see it released, and it's gone forever unless you got a console.
I was just, there's this like this is a deep cut, and I'm broken and stupid, but like there's this art music show. This artist from he's from Sweden, from like Gothenburg, and I don't know how it's like, how did you ever discover anything in like the year 2000? I don't know. Like I stumbled across like one song.
For me, it was you.
And yeah, but I stumbled across one song. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And like he was almost like a like folk singer, but he used like samples and stuff, which I was like definitely more into at that time. I was like, oh, this is interesting. He's like cutting this stuff up or whatever. But it's so funny you say that about like people pulling their stuff, but like. Now, I feel like iTunes, any of these music services, I feel like one thing they do a terrible job of is telling you when there's new music by somebody you actually listen to.
Yeah, you've said that to me before, yeah.
Yeah, so like, I don't know if you know, like, I feel like they're getting a little bit better. Like, you can tag them. Sometimes they'll send you alerts, but a lot of times you're like, oh shit, this album's been out for a year. I had no idea. What the fuck, iTunes? Like, all I listen to is this thing, right? And so I was like, oh, I should Google this. His name is Jens Lekman. It's spelled like Jens, like Jens. And I was like, oh, I'll look him up. And there was nothing new. And I was like, oh, nothing new again. But it's like that kind of thing that you do when you're bored on your phone. Like, oh, let's look up the people that I don't normally like think about all the time. But then I was reading like in this bio of his, and I didn't notice it because like a lot of the early stuff I got from him, I bought on CD and like ripped. And then, like, iTunes has that iTunes Match thing. Like, if you ripped it, it saves it to the cloud as part of your library. But apparently, like, he, at some point, pulled his entire catalog and then, like, re-released, like, 2 albums that was a lot of, but not exactly the same of his old catalog. So there's, like, there's songs I have in like my iTunes that you like can't get anymore, like the same version.
Yeah, I have a couple of those. Yeah.
Yeah, which I was like, oh, I'm glad I bought those in physical media because, like, whatever the new version he released, I'm like, kind of like it as much. You know what I mean? Like, he went back to it and tinkered with it and like took samples
like
out
a George
and did
Lucas
it with live instruments or something. Yeah, I mean, they're fine. They're like, but they're not like
they're not what you were used to.
Yeah, if I would have had those through iTunes and had them yanked and then been like listening, I would have been like, oh, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, this of course goes back to my old standby, but Van Halen, their last album was done by Interscope, and it was like when they reunited, it was done in like 2012, and it's been pulled from iTunes and a bunch of streaming services, and no one really knows why. Some sort of rights issues, like they can't, whatever. But
they're in court or something somewhere.
What's that?
They're in court somewhere with somebody about it.
Yeah, some bullshit like that. Or
like, you owe me this money over that. Yeah.
Or one of them's just holding out and just like, I don't like. One of the rumors is, and I think that Eddie's son made reference to this, that DLR does not like the album, and so that's what's holding like renegotiations up for it, which is kind of bizarre because it's like, brother. David. I mean,
it's not like your stuff was like,
come on,
lighting the world on fire.
Yeah, I mean, good Lord. So, so there's a bunch of people complaining about that, and I think I had it in my I don't anymore. I mean, I own that on CD, but I don't know if I ripped it to my iTunes because
right.
I don't know. I can't be bothered to get.
Actually rip get
drive out
and rip it for sure.
Yeah, so I probably just downloaded it with iTunes or whatever and then one day I went in there and I was like, where the fuck is this thing? And I was going like, and I went on like every avenue of iTunes that I could think of, and I was like, I'm not crazy. I had this thing in here. Why can't I listen to this?
Yeah,
and
that's the part too. You do go nuts. Yeah,
yeah. And then of course I Google search it and I hear all the same issues that everyone else is having, and so I dug out the goddamn compact disc and ripped it to my library.
That's funny.
So, I mean...
it is weird like that. I can't remember. There was some, like, pop chick or whatever. Again, one of these things that, like, it came up in some streaming service. I was like, oh, that song's okay. And I, like, tagged it. And I went back to listen to it, and it's like, oh, it's gone from everywhere. Like, I was using Tidal for a bit and Apple Music. And it's like, you can't get it on anything. Like, and it was a recent song that got pulled like a month after it got, or 2 months after it got released. And it's like, oh, that's weird. Like, what's going on there? I never researched it, but it was like, there had to be some sort of rights or something thing of,
Well, there's tons of that stuff that premiered on streaming services, like especially during the pandemic or stuff. And some of that stuff was put out there, not very successful. And, they pull it. So it's like, obviously, no one's sitting on there. No one's really watching it. But there is a fan base who's like, they can't buy it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
a
lot of that Disney Plus crap, right? Like, a ton of that Marvel stuff and the Star Wars stuff. I've seen there are people that are like, they're holdouts. They're like, I refuse to pay a monthly fee for this stuff that I don't really want, other than to see this stuff. So they're like, I'm waiting for it to come out on a physical media, and it never does.
Good luck.
And so they're like, so. Now you can go on Etsy, and there's just like a ton of like bootleg shit on. Yeah.
Oh, funny.
And I saw a guy on YouTube, this kind of annoying dude. He's like, he's like, I got all these. Look at this. He's like, I've got this on Blu-ray. The entire season looks great. Look at the cover. It looks great. He's like, but Disney didn't get my money. This person on Etsy got my money. And like you're telling me that
I wouldn't fuck around with that. I wouldn't fuck around with that Disney.
Oh, hell no.
Like bootlegging stuff, dude. Dude, they're like, they have a army of lawyers just ready to like destroy you. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be putting that out there, but it does make a point of like, they know, they can see the numbers. I mean, they know that like, okay, how much are we leaving here if we don't put this out? Like, it costs us this much to put it on physical media. But what a lot of these guys are saying is basically like, I have the income. I'm willing to pay for it, a premium price for it, if you put it out, instead of me having to give you $20 a month every month for something that I'm not using. I'll pay a premium price just so I don't have to do that, which I kind of understand.
I'd pay a premium price for?
What would you pay a premium price for?
Just a normal double tapered shit. Just a normal one. Something that resembles what a human would do.
Well,
that's what that. Yeah.
You just get yourself some krill oil. Tons of stuff on my radio station. It costs you about $20. It'll get you right as rain.
I still only want to eat fried foods. I feel like, sorry, I was like trying to chat GPT and poop talk into the show because that's people they expect.
That's true.
I do have a poop story. I do have a recent poop story. If you want to switch topics, and
sure.
There.
I don't recall the last time we've talked about bowel movements on here, but yes, please. I'm finally something that has got my attention for this episode. Yes, finally, please.
Yeah. So over the weekend, my 7-year-old, like on Sunday night, we do this like tradition thing now. It's somewhat become a tradition where we'll do a staycation over in Bellevue, which is like the most suburban thing ever. But like they have that Snowflake Lane over there.
Yeah. Oh, so,
like,
kids love it.
I have a shitload of like hotel points and free hotel nights through just from traveling from work. So like we usually stay over there, like to get a free room, and we stay one night and we like go to the mall, which is like such a fucking novelty to them.
And that one is thriving. That mall is thriving over there.
That's it. The old lady and I were talking about like how is every mall going out of business, and this one is just like
unreal,
gangbusters.
I had to go there. I had to go there for something last year around Christmas, and I was like, I went by myself to grab something. I forget why. I have no idea why. And I called in, or I got home, and I was like, dude, that place was like it was weird. It was thriving. It was like,
dude. So and it resonates too. So like we went and we like walked through like there's a candy store there where you can fill up like a trash bag of candy, right, and buy it by the pound or whatever. And the girls always want to go there. And then there's toy stores, right, and like Claire's and whatever else they want to go to. And we went the first day, and then we go to like the Snowflake Lane parade, which is just like a cute little like Santa and like snowman and shit like that. And they play music and dance. And then like stay the night in the hotel and usually leave the next morning. Well, the next morning the girls get up and they're like, we want to go back to the mall. Like, what do you want to do? And they're like, we don't know. We want to go back. And
you just want to be there. You're like, you're like, kids, I totally get it.
There's something that like it resonates, man. Like they're just enthralled. They're like, this place is magical, this mall. Anyway, so we go over there. I don't know, like it's not like we're eating healthy. Like they're eating a bunch of candy and like mac and cheese or whatever because we're doing this staycation thing. And then we get home Sunday night, and my 7-year-old is like, she's a fiend for string cheese. Anyways, like those little packet string cheese you get.
Sure.
And she's like, we don't technically know how many she snuck, but at one point we were like, how many of those have you had?
Oh, no.
And she kept like showing up with them, and she just started laughing, like, ha, 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 and like, she's sneaking them. And you're like, hey, chilling on the string cheese, dude. Like, you've been like pounding those like Tic Tacs since we got home. I say that all the time, by the way, Tic Tacs. I think I got that from you.
Yeah.
But she'd been pounding since we got home. And then like Monday afternoon, we get a call from school. Like, yeah, Fiona's in the nurse's office. She got a stomachache and needs to come home. Apparently she had like, this is really bad. I feel like I'm sharing like personal health information about my kid. That's still pretty funny. But she had like tried to poop at school and couldn't. It like hurt too much. And she was like, her stomach hurt. So she came home. And then so we're like pumping her full of like strawberries and smoothies and any like veggies and anything we can get. And it's just like she got like scared to poop. She's like, I don't want to do it.
Oh yeah, because it was bed.
It hurt too much. She's like, I'll just go to bed and it'll be better in the morning. I'll just wake up and it'll be fine in the morning. Like, yeah, it doesn't really work that way. You got to kind of get out. She's like, I wish this never would have happened. I was like, everything she was saying, I was like, dude, I know where you're at right now. I totally know where you're at. Especially since when I broke my wrist, I was on all these painkillers like over the summer, like, and that shit will like plug you up. Oh yeah, man.
Sure.
Like you ate a bag of cement, just plugging you up. And so I even told her that. I was like, hey, remember when Dad broke his wrist? It's like all the medicine I took, and maybe I felt the same way. It was scary to go. She's like, I don't want to do it. She's like in tears, just like so upset about the thought of like having to try to sit down and try again. And I was like, yeah, I get it, dude.
That cheese done plugged her up, dude.
Yeah, the cheese plugged her up. And then so today I get to work. Like she wakes up this morning to go to school, can't do it. Like stomach too upset.
Wow.
She's trying to go on the stomach. Like we're again pumping her full of fruit and veggies. I end up giving her apparently these were in short supply. Did you know this? Like there was like a run on I didn't even mean to do that pun. But there was like a shortage of laxatives. Did you know this? That happened like over the summer.
Well,
like laxatives, like they're in short supply.
I can't speak to laxatives, but I needed some sort of preparation H wipes during the pandemic, and that shit was like, I had my mom on the phone. I was like, "Have you seen these?" And she's like, "Well, I've been looking for you. I don't see them up here." And finally, like, it was brutal, man. I had some doings, and I was like, I just need. I mean, none of them. Like, if you went into Target, not even the Target brand, none of them. They're gone. Like, you go to the section, what the fuck? People
were sitting around too much in the pandemic.
Yeah, my mom called. She's like, "I got good news for you. I found one package of those wipes. I have them up here. I'll bring them down when I come." I was like, I'll come up and get them. I'm coming up to get them.
Did you really? You just drop everything?
I don't remember. No, I don't remember if it was that bad, but I had some doings going on.
Apparently, there's a shortage of these things.
Wow.
That's a little bit of an aside, but I have a bottle of they're like gummies. They're like laxative gummies because I had it from when I was like on my painkillers.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, these are for adults and not for kids, but I'm sure we can figure out the dosage and yeah, exactly. And so that's what we did. So gave her some of those. I went to work, and then I'm like, I've been texting the wife during the day. I'm like, what's this thing? What's going on? She's like, she's still holding it in. She's scared. She's walking around. She's in pain. I was like, oh man. So then I'm sharing this with coworkers, and then coworkers throughout the day, they're like, what's going on, man? I'm invested in this story now. I gotta know what happened. And so I get a text from Amanda. I gotta read it. I gotta pull it up.
No.
I get a text from Amanda during the day. This is the positive one. Like at the end of the day, it was like she finally went. This is what time was this? This is at almost 2:00. She finally went an hour ago. Really painful, but she feels much better.
God.
And I was like, and so I sent that to coworkers. And then when I got home from there, everybody, all the coworkers, she must feel light as a feather right now. There was cheering memes and stuff people were sending me, and then I got home at 5:30, and I had to pick up the other kid and take her to gymnastics. And this never. Usually I get home and I go inside and they're busy doing something, right? And they're sometimes I don't get the time of day, or sometimes they're say hi or whatever, but it's never it's not Leave It to Beaver or something like that, right? I get home, I park on the street. Before I can even get out of my car, she's running out the door. Dad, I pooped. She's so happy. She's telling me over and over again. I'm like, no, Mom told me that's great. She was so excited and so happy it happened. I'm like, yeah. I was like, are you scared of it now? No, I'm not scared of it. Okay. I was like, yeah, I've been there. I've been there, bro. I've been there. It's not fun.
Man,
I get the scared thing too, dude. When I was taking that painkiller for my wrist in the summer, there was a time where I was like, I gotta face this. I gotta face this demon.
I know.
Can't, I don't know how long it's been, but I gotta I can't keep kicking the can down the road here. I gotta deal with this. And it's you were definally dreading it.
Yeah,
I about where she was coming from.
About 2 or 3 years ago, I was blocked up for some reason. I still don't know why. And it's when you're in the midst of it, you're just thinking wow, I've heard about this. As an adult, especially, it was I've heard about this. I've never experienced this. It's awful, man. It is awful.
I read about this in the Reader's Digest. Yeah. It's not good.
I'm always thinking what's wrong with those people? Glad that's never happened to me. And then it's you're devising up plans. You're like, man, could I just get it out a little bit if I could, and then just get away, grab it and pull it the rest of the way out?
I don't know if
can I hook up a toe chain or what?
Take a toe hook on it.
Oh boy.
Oof.
Oh boy.
I
Well,
would say even buy like getting those like gummy laxatives. They're a godsend, but like I don't know what the dosage is for adults. It's like 2 to 4 of the things or whatever. I was taking 1, which kind of did the job. But if you took 2, it was like then you feel off in a different way. Like your stomach is just not like
dancing.
Yeah.
I went and saw that that Godzilla -1 with some coworkers. You know, there's a Godzilla.
What the fuck are you talking about?
There's a Godzilla movie called -1 or something. -0.
I have no idea what you're even talking about. That's a thing.
Yeah, it's a Japanese Godzilla movie. I guess it did pretty well over the weekend too. It's solid. I would recommend it. We really enjoyed it.
I got into Godzilla movies.
I've
never seen a Godzilla movie I've ever enjoyed. They're always so goddamn boring.
Yeah, well, yeah, I get it. This one's pretty solid, gotta say. Pretty solid. It knows what it is. Got to do a lot of reading, though, because it is in Japanese with subtitles. But anyways.
A lot of science. Like, I was always excited for them when I was younger, and never watching it. Like, this is just boring. And then when it gets to the thing you want to see, you're like, oh, yeah, this is all it really is. It's just Godzilla, like, smashing stuff. Like, what am I, like, why did I even want to, like, what's the point? It's I know you don't like the Jekyll and Hyde Hulk stuff.
Yeah.
Is it kind of the same for you?
I get it. Yeah. I'm not going to try to sell you on it, but I'm just saying of these movies, it's a pretty solid one. But beside the point, at some point in the movie, it just goes silent, kind of like in that shit in like in an Oppenheimer, where it does this one of these things where all audio is all silent, and we're just like sitting there in the theater,
like a Mission Impossible, maybe.
Yeah,
he's
like,
in the CIA room, just dead silent. Yeah,
dead silence, and we're sitting there, and my stomach just goes, and we're at Cinnabar. I had just eaten half a pizza. And some sort of fruity bullshit drink there because one of my coworkers got some sort of Jim Beam.
Like a pitcher? Like a pitcher?
No. He's got some Jim Beam drink that they had. And I was like, yeah, it's some sort of cherry deal. I'll try that. So it goes silent and just goes, my stomach just starts dancing. And my coworker next to me just starts dying. We're both just dying. And then my other coworkers are sitting like further down. They're like, what the fuck are you guys on? And then when we leave, they're like, what were you guys laughing at during this silence, you assholes? I was like, dude, I had bubble guts while that was going on. It was brutal, dude. It was so loud, I thought like the people behind me had to hear this shit. Like, this is brutal.
Oh man.
God.
That's amazing. Just what the filmmakers intended, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, I think that'll about do it.
Okay.
Well, thanks, pal. I'm sorry the technology failed us today, but that's also an AI. I'm sure AI would cook that into their generated programming of ours.
To make it feel more authentic.
Yeah.
Like, it must be real because the technology failed. But they're like, every time technology's failed us over the years, it's like you got to work that into the algorithm. Yeah. So, all right, pal. Until next time. Programming note. Someone was asking me about the Bubble Guts Giving 2023 show because usually me and Roden do something about his adventures for Thanksgiving dinner. We were going to do it last weekend. Some things came up, so hopefully we'll get to this weekend. We will have a Bubble Guts Giving 2023 episode. He does have yet again another amazing story for his Thanksgiving dinner. It's a good one. So nothing will beat that picture he posted like 2 or 3 years ago.
I post it every year I post the same one every year because nothing beats that thing.
It's just incredible. It's insane, I think is what the kids say.
Yeah. So all right. So hopefully we'll get to that this weekend and we'll get that out there. So and it'll be a little late this year, guys, but hopefully it'll be here in time for Christmas. So happy holidays.
It'll be a Christmas miracle.
It will. It really will be. All right, buddy. Okay. Have a good one.
Okay. Eat your fruits and veggies, bud.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Oh, what a big man you are. Hey, let me buy you a pack of gum. I'll show you how to chew it. Ooh.